What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love and Marriage DC Season 2, Episode 5. Episode is titled Street Fighters, you guys. So before we just jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't yet subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Love and Marriage DC, shall we? It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I believe that is why my light bill has been so high. But they keep saying it is fixed, but it's not fixed. That shit is just loud. I can't even sleep at night because of this goddamn refrigerator. Well, it's the freezer. Oh, God, it's just a pain in my ass. All right, you guys, so this episode, nothing, it kind of felt a little bit fillerish if we're being honest with each other. Nothing really happened until we got to the end of the episode. So the episode opens up where we left off with last week's episode. Remember, Lil Jamie went over to Ashley, his sister's, or is it Brittany? Brittany. He went over to Brittany's house, right? And their mom, their dad, and their grandmother showed up as well, right? So, you know, she's just trying to, get the family together so that they can put everything out on the table so that way she's not in the middle. So she's not hearing stuff from her mom and her dad, and she's not hearing stuff from her brother and her grandmother. So it's just everybody's there. Let's air it out. Let's see how we can process this and move forward. And I actually really liked it. I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time, right? Because this could have went many ways, right? Your dad is a hothead. Your brother is a hothead. Like, this could have been a confrontation in your home. But like I said, I got where she was coming from, and I actually really appreciated her, right? So I did like the fact that, so when it comes to the Jamies, right? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call Big Jamie James and Little Jamie Jamie. So that way we know who we're talking about, because I do feel a little way about calling him a man. He's a man, so he's not really little Jamie anymore. He's grown Jamie. So James, he's talking about, I like the fact that he was able to take some accountability in the issue, some accountability with Jamie, right? Granted, like I've said plenty of times before, it's not on them to make sure, it's not on them to do the things that he needs to do, right? But I do feel that over the years, I feel like maybe James and Irena have, coddled him. That's probably, because they talked about how he's so entitled, but he wouldn't be entitled if you guys have not been there for him when he falls, and you're always there. So he feels like that he has a safety net with mom and dad, which is nothing wrong with having a safety net in your parents, right? Because my mom was my safety net, but also with my mom, as well as she was my safety net, she also instilled in me that one day you're gonna be by yourself. One day I'm not gonna be here, so I want you to be able. I repeated that twice. My mom was like, I want you to be able to take care of yourself when I'm not here, because she knew that, we all know we all have an expiration date, right? So that was my mom's whole thing. She took care of me. She provided me with everything that I wanted, but she also taught me the value of hard work, right? So that's what and I'm looking at a picture of my mom, right? So that's why I keep looking to the side. My mom taught me a lot, a lot about that. So I appreciated her for that. And I think that's the difference between, I think that's what the issue is, right? They have done stuff for him, but they've also coddled him and enabled him. And I like that they were able to take some accountability, right? So, their grandmother, she broke down crying because she just wants the best for little Jamie as well, right? And I didn't like how nonchalant he was when she cried, especially in his interview. I didn't know what to say. You might not have known what to say, but God, it just didn't seem like it seemed like there was just no emotion there, right? So James tells him that, he gave him an ultimatum that they go sit down with the therapist, with the counselor, whatever, right? And if he does do it, fine, they'll work things out. If he doesn't do it, then he can't stay with them anymore. He has to get his stuff and go stay with his girlfriend. So at first, Jamie said no, and he walked away. But Brittany went and talked to him, and the whole family went down and talked to him, and he was able to agree. Because James said that it's not just me going for just going to say something's wrong with you. I got some shit with me that I need to work out too, right? I'm as much to blame for this as anybody else. So it's not just on you. It's to find the tools that help us make this a successful, make this work with us. We're family. Like, I love you. I really want them to get away from the fighting. And I do want to I just want to say one thing. This cast right here, I'm so glad that I don't watch the episodes live anymore, because this cast, they are very responsive. They're very active on social media. Jamie, James, and Ashley. Those are three people that I see always responding to people on Twitter. Sometimes I see Winter, but not often. I see Winter tweeting about the show, but Ashley, James, Jamie, those three right there, I don't have an issue with them, but my God, they always have a rebuttal for everything. It's always a rebuttal. Not an issue, but it's just always a rebuttal. But that's really all I got for that scene. Let's pause here and move forward, guys. So next up, we see Winter. So she's looking at a venue. So she's going to be having her divorce party. Now, she called it something else, and I forgot what it was. But it's a divorce party nonetheless, right? So she has Sherelle coming down, right? And she wants Sherelle to help her bring the other ladies to this party. I was like, huh? You guys know I like Winter, but I was like, this is production at this point. This is literally production. Because if you guys go back to the lives that I've done with Jeremy and Chef Don Don, I've specifically said this stuff about Winter. I've specifically said this stuff. Why is Winter on the show if the ladies don't like her, and if she's having an event, who's going to come? It's because you can have an event, but they're not going to film an event with one or two cast members. Like, they're just not going to do that. So I was like, how is Winter going to thrive on this show when she's not friends with Ashley and she's not friends with Arena? And then she's in the main credits. I've been confused about that for weeks. Like, how is this possible when she's not seeing eye to eye with two of the main cast members? And that's the other thing. She's not going to have they're not going to pay for a party when it comes to the production, they don't always pay for those parties. Everything that we see that they don't always pay for. Some things those people do have to come out of their pockets for. I know that the main thing that they pay for are like the confessional looks. They pay for that, and they pay for the cast trips. They pay for the cast trips and they pay for the confessionals. But like those individual parties, they don't pay necessarily for them unless it's like a group event, a whole cast event, like at the finale parties and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just thinking to myself, how is Winter going to thrive on this show, and how is Winter a main cast member when she's not filming with two of the other main cast members, right? So yeah, I was just thinking to myself like that. But Sherelle feels like they should sit down and have a conversation with each other, right? I'm like, this is like beating a dead horse with a stick at this point. But if this is what y'all want to do, go for it, right? So then Sherelle tells, and now people, before anybody tries to say her name is Sherelle, the reason why I'm saying Sherelle is because Ashley calls the girl Sherelle, everybody else calls her Sherelle, so I'm just combining the two together to call her Sherelle. So that way, if her name is Sherelle, we got that. If her name is Sherelle, we got that. So grouping them together, Sherelle. So Sherelle was telling Winter the situation with Arena, how Arena told Sherelle that Joy said that her husband was shady. And now let's talk about the definition of let's talk about shady, right? Because it comes up again later in the episode. Now, did Joy necessarily come out of her mouth flat out and say that the man is shady? No. But like I said, we're going to talk about that. Winter says that she feels like she should have a conversation with Joy. So let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. So Ashley and Quick, they're at home, and You know, you guys know Quick is getting the street that he lived on as a child named after him. So he's telling Ashley how he likes the book. And she's like, you gassing me up. And then he's up telling her that he's upset with her because she didn't tell him that their son got suspended from school, right? So the son got suspended from school because he left his jacket on the table or something, right? And he went to go look for it, but it was gone. So then some other kids told him who had his jacket. So he went to the kid's classroom, got the kid's backpack, and called the kid out, right? And they went into the hallway and got into a fight. Now, I got where Quick was coming from. Like, what if there was drugs or guns in the boy's backpack, and the boy said that, you know, Antonio put it there. I got his point of view, right? But I'm more so on Antonio's side. Shit, I'm on Antonio's side. I'm so sorry. Because it's happened to me before where somebody took something from me. I went back and I got my stuff. I got what I wanted. I got my stuff. And it caused a whole commotion, right? I've done that before. Like, I'm that person. If you take something, especially in school, if I leave something on my desk and you walk your ass up and take it, I'm coming back to your desk and I'm taking whatever is mine because it's mine. You didn't buy it. Your mama didn't buy it for you. If I or my mom bought it for me, it belongs to me. And bitch, I'm coming to get my shit. And if a fight come with it, a fight gonna come with it, right? So I'm on Antonio's side. He got suspended. Oh, the fuck well, right? Little nigga shouldn't have took his shit. I don't feel no type of way. I want you guys to tell me if you guys are on team Antonio or team Quick. But I'm team Antonio. Nigga, square up. Like, we finna fight. So then we see Joy and Sherelle, right? So she and Sherelle, they met up to have a conversation, and it was very awkward at first, right? So Joy tells Sherelle that she don't have an issue with her, and Sherelle says vice versa, right? She says, I didn't have an issue with you until I had a conversation with Arena, and Arena was telling me that you called my husband shady. So Joy's like, I didn't call him shady. And Joy was like, you know, I really don't feel like, you know, this conversation should be had with just me and you because we need to have all parties involved. Now, Joy. Y'all know I don't like Joy. Y'all know I ain't gonna never see it for Joy. Girl, Mambo sauce. And I'm not finna say nothing because I know I was in Roxanne's comments when she was talking about Mambo sauce, and y'all were heated about that Mambo sauce. So I have nothing to say about Mambo sauce. It's a DC thing, so I'm gonna leave it alone, right? The only thing I will say about Mambo sauce, the group. Joy made this group to be out of something that it wasn't. She's talking about they went on a tour. Who did y'all go on tour with? Where did y'all tour at? And they were known. They were known. I was like, say what now? I have never heard of a Mambo sauce a day in my life. The first time I ever heard about Mambo sauce is this show. So I've never heard of Mambo sauce. But I mean, if Joy wants to say Mambo sauce was well known, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. But let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So next we got James and Jamie. So they went to go see the therapist. This is where I was talking about that the cast gets a little defensive, right? Because I was just on social media before I came on here to do the review, and I saw that Ashley had tweeted last night, right? And I saw that somebody was asking the question of have James and Jamie been back to therapy, and she says no. I was like, how do you know that, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with me. This was a nice scene. Do I feel like it was staged? No, I feel like it was real. I will say one thing with this scene. I love the fact that when the therapist was talking to both the Jamies, that when Big Jamie, was trying to say, you know, that they've gotten into it, he was telling him about Jamie was telling the therapist about, you know, how he's been feeling, right? About, you know, the fact that he got the ticket, he texts his dad. Now, here's my thing to you, Jamie. If you live like your dad said, you live this lifestyle, you can afford the lifestyle that you're trying to live, but you couldn't afford the ticket. And I was once 26 myself, so I get it, right? You want to go out and you want to do these things. You want to go out, have fun, and live your life, right? but then you also have other responsibilities. And I get it. Even in my 20s, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and say that I ain't never had tickets, warrants, and things like that. I've definitely had my fair share of tickets. I've had my fair share of warrants for my arrest, right? But I've taken, you know, I had to sit down and be like, I don't want to. I don't. The thing is, I don't want to pay this ticket, but I got the ticket and it's in my name. There was one that wasn't in my name. It was in my mother's name. Damn, I shouldn't have paid that ticket. Child, I still think about that ticket and I shouldn't have paid it. Because I got the ticket in 2016, right? The end of 2016. If you guys are not familiar with Dallas or Texas, they used to have a red light camera here, and it would if you quote unquote ran the red light, it would take a picture of your license plate and it would mail it to your house, right? That's what happened. On one of our toll roads, it says that I didn't stop for the light, but I actually did stop. I stopped, there was no traffic coming, and I went. But they sent the red light ticket to the house. It was in her name. She was like, if you don't pay that ticket. I was like, do I really have to? Child, I really wish I hadn't. Because, I mean, you can't arrest a deceased person. Because the ticket came in 2016 and she died in 2017. The ticket came the end of 2016, like December or so. And my mom died in March of 2017. Damn, I shouldn't have paid that ticket. Because you can't arrest the corpse, unfortunately. Damn, I'm still pissed that I paid that ticket. I am really pissed that I paid that ticket. I am so pissed that I paid that damn ticket. I want my money back. I am so pissed that I paid that fucking ticket. That has been almost 6 years now. Because my mom will be, it's going to be 6 years this year that she's passed away. Fuck, I hate that I paid that ticket. Ugh. But yeah, back to the show. You do things that you don't necessarily, I mean, if you do it, just find a way to pay it. Like, you might have to, if you, like, see now, in my late 20s, I wasn't going out to the clubs anymore, so I wasn't really doing anything, so paying that ticket didn't matter too much to me, because I was able to take care of my bill, you know, my car note, my insurance, you know, whatever else, food, all that kind of stuff. I was able to take care of that stuff and pay that ticket. So I wasn't doing anything extra. So if you, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, homie. But I will say with the therapist, I did like the fact that when Big Jamie was trying to say that he had a few drinks at the party, he was like, I'm not going to let you use that as an excuse. I was like, hey, man, I love it, right? So then they also did talk about the fact that Big Jamie might have some anger issues, right? It ain't no might, he has anger issues. Then they talked about, you know, the fact that Jamie has tried to, you know, has made, you know, said things about, you know, not wanting to be on this earth anymore. And I did like that conversation that the doctor had with him, right? He asked him when was the last time he thought about it. He said maybe a month or two, right? And I'm glad that James heard his son in this moment, and he said, I know he said he felt like he was doing it as a cry for attention. It's not really necessarily a cry for attention. It's more so, I feel like when that happens, it's not someone saying, I want your attention. It's saying, I need help, and I don't know how to ask for that help. But I want you guys to just get in the comments and tell me what you guys think about it. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here, pause here and wrap up this episode. Yep, we're going to wrap up the episode, you guys. So we see everybody as they show up for the naming of Quicksilver Wade, right? This is the first time I think that I don't think we saw Quick really cry like this, right? But he actually cried when he was giving his speech. And I was like, and I like that side of Quick, right? I like to see the emotional side. I like to see the emotional side of anybody, right? I mean, we have tears for a reason. We have tear ducts for a reason. Cry. It's okay to cry. Crying can be very therapeutic. So after the street was named, they did that. He gave his speech. So Sherelle saw Arena, and she wanted to go address Arena, and all hell broke loose at this point, right? Because Sherelle felt the way about the fact that Arena didn't use the correct wording that Joyce said. Now let's keep it real, right? When we sit down with somebody and we have a conversation with them, do you guys and you go back? See, here's where Arena lost me, because this is not something that I do. This is just not how I operate in my life, and I think this is one reason why I wouldn't be good for reality TV, because I'm not someone who does this kind of stuff where I be friends with somebody and this friend be like, well, her husband was this and her husband was that and da 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 da. And then I'm gonna go back and be like, oh my God. So, Joyce said this about your husband and Joyce said that about your husband. I'm not that person, right? And that's a game of telephone. So you're not necessarily going to get even when you recant a story to someone, you're not going to get the exact wording. Because I even do that sometimes, right? When I'm like with my job, my boss will ask me, certain things, and I'll tell him, I don't remember exactly what was said, but I summarize it for him. I'm like, da 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 da, our client says this happened, da 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 da, and then I have this to back up what they're saying, da 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 da. But then the other person is saying, well, this happened, right? Like I actually have a claim on my desk where that happened. Like I have what my driver is saying. He says X, Y, Z, and then the other person says X, Y, Z. And I actually had to repeat this to my boss. He was like, so he got a message from someone in the company, and he was like, just tell me. He was like, do you know what this? He's like, he sent me the claim. He's like, do you know what this is? I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. And basically what happened, our client went back and tried to say that I said something that I did not say, right? But I could back it up. And I just basically told him like, hey, our client is saying that he got hit by this person, and then this person is saying that they got hit by our person, right? And I don't know who's telling the truth. And that's exactly what I told him. I'm like, I don't know who's telling the truth. I'm like, because the damages, I can see where the claimant is saying, yes, I can see their side point of view, and I can see our insurance point of view. But since I wasn't there, I don't know what the hell happened, right? So you're not gonna ever get everything correct, right? So for Sherelle to be upset about the word shady, in Arena's defense, shady, she gave the definition: unethical, untrustworthy. That's a shady individual. Now, did she have to say that the word shady describes your husband? No. Those words didn't have to come out her mouth, but they did, right? And they got into it from there. And that was really all that happened at the end of the episode, was them screaming back and forth with each other. Excuse me, y'all. But I want you guys to just get down in the comments and let me know what you guys thought about this episode overall. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on and share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later on for The Real Housewives of Potomac. And I got to watch The Real Housewives of Miami, and we'll do the last 2 episodes of Miami tonight. I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys. All-Star game is tonight, too. I got a lot of stuff to watch, but I'll see you guys later.